Hey there, I'm Maz, and welcome to Maz Show. This is your space to explore big ideas through books, society, knowledge, and history, all with one goal to build a better world and a brighter future. If you are curious, reflective, and ready to grow, you're in the right place. So tap follow, hit subscribe, and let's get thinking.
You know that friend who always says, I knew that would happen after every single event? Yeah, turns out they probably didn't. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of hindsight bias, how our brains trick us into thinking we predicted things we actually didn't, why this matters for everything from medical decisions to stock market investments, and what we can do about it. And with us today is our resident expert in cognitive psychology.
Thanks for having me. It's funny you mentioned that friend who claims they knew everything would happen, because this is actually such a universal human tendency that psychologists have been studying it for decades.
Really? How long have we known about this phenomenon?
Well, interestingly, while people have probably been saying I knew it all along since the dawn of time, the formal study of hindsight bias really took off in the 1970s. There was this fascinating experiment involving President Nixon's visit to Beijing.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So researchers asked people to predict various outcomes of Nixon's visit before it happened. Then, after the visit, they asked the same people to recall their original predictions. And guess what? People's memories of their predictions mysteriously aligned much more closely with what actually happened.
Wait, so they basically rewrote their own memories?
Exactly. And this happens to all of us, all the time. According to research from Northwestern University and the University of Minnesota, hindsight bias actually operates on 3 different levels.
3 levels? I thought it was just about claiming you knew something would happen.
That's what most people think, but it's more complex. The first level is memory distortion, literally misremembering your earlier opinion. The second is inevitability, believing the event had to happen that way. And the third is foreseeability, convincing yourself you could have predicted it.
Huh, that's fascinating. Can you give us some real-world examples?
Sure. One of the clearest examples comes from medicine. There was a case where a doctor was sued for malpractice after missing a tumor in an X-ray. A second doctor, looking at the same X-ray after knowing about the tumor, claimed it was obvious.
But it probably wasn't obvious at all in the original scan, right?
Right. The second doctor was experiencing hindsight bias. Once you know there's a tumor there, your brain literally processes the image differently. It's like your knowledge of the outcome changes how you see the past.
That's actually pretty scary when you think about it. I mean, if this affects medical professionals?
It affects everyone, in every field. Sports fans do it constantly, claiming they knew their team would win or lose after the game is over.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that one. After every big game, suddenly everyone's an expert who saw it coming.
And it gets even more interesting in the business world. Studies show that managers often claim they knew all along that a new hire wouldn't work out, but only after the person starts performing poorly.
I imagine this must have huge implications for decision-making, right?
Absolutely. When we convince ourselves we knew it all along, we don't learn from our mistakes. We don't examine what actually led to the outcome.
That makes sense. If you think you already knew what would happen, why would you need to analyze it?
Exactly. And here's what's really interesting. Research shows that new technologies for visualizing and understanding data might actually make this problem worse, not better.
Wait, what? How does that work?
Well, when we can see patterns clearly in data after the fact, it reinforces our belief that we could have seen them before. The clearer the visualization, the more obvious everything seems in hindsight.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? The better our tools get at showing us what happened,
The more convinced we become that we could have predicted it. And this has huge implications for fields like financial planning, military strategy, even healthcare.
So how do we fight against this? I mean, if it's such a natural tendency...
One effective strategy that researchers have identified is actively considering alternative explanations. Before you say, I knew it, force yourself to think about other ways things could have turned out.
Like imagining different scenarios?
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the uncertainty that existed before the outcome was known. This helps combat what researchers call creeping determinism, the feeling that what happened was inevitable.
You mentioned earlier about the 3 levels of hindsight bias. Can we dig deeper into those?
Sure. Let's start with memory distortion. This is when we literally rewrite our memories to match what we now know happened.
Like those people in the Nixon experiment?
Exactly. Then there's inevitability, the belief that the outcome was bound to happen. This is particularly common in historical analysis.
And the third one was foreseeability, right?
Right. That's when we convince ourselves we personally could have predicted the outcome. This is probably the most dangerous form because it leads to overconfidence in our predictive abilities.
I can see how that could be really problematic in something like investing.
Absolutely. Studies show that investors often believe they knew a market crash was coming after it happens, which can lead to poor future investment decisions.
Because they think they'll be able to predict the next one too?
Exactly. And this overconfidence can be really costly. Research shows that hindsight bias is a significant source of overconfidence in our ability to predict future events.
You know what I'm wondering? Does this affect some people more than others?
That's an interesting question. While everyone experiences hindsight bias to some degree, research suggests that experts in a field might actually be more susceptible to it.
Really? Why is that?
Because experts have more knowledge to draw from when constructing post-event explanations. They can more easily create convincing narratives about why something was bound to happen.
That's fascinating. So more knowledge doesn't necessarily protect you from this bias.
Not at all. In fact, it might make you more vulnerable to it. This is why even experienced professionals need to actively work to combat hindsight bias.
Are there any other strategies besides considering alternative explanations?
Yes, another effective approach is keeping detailed records of your predictions and decision-making process before you know the outcome.
Like a decision journal?
Exactly. When you write down what you actually thought before an event, it's much harder to fall into the "I knew it all along" trap later.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like creating your own reality check.
And it's particularly important in professional settings. For instance, doctors are now encouraged to document their thinking process before making diagnoses.
To prevent that situation you mentioned earlier with the X-ray?
Precisely. It helps maintain a more accurate record of the uncertainty that existed at the time of the decision.
You know what I'm realizing? This bias probably affects how we judge other people's decisions too.
Absolutely. We often criticize others' decisions using information they couldn't have had at the time. It's a form of Monday morning quarterbacking.
That doesn't seem very fair.
It's not, and it can have serious consequences in fields like law, where hindsight bias might affect how jurors evaluate past decisions.
So what's the takeaway here? How do we use this knowledge in our daily lives?
The key is to remember that the future is always uncertain, even when the past seems obvious. We need to be more humble about our predictive abilities.
And maybe be a little more forgiving of others' decisions?
Exactly. Understanding hindsight bias helps us be both better decision makers and more empathetic judges of others' choices.
This has been really eye-opening. I'm definitely going to think twice next time I catch myself saying, "I knew it all along."
That's the first step. Just being aware of the bias can help us combat it.
Well, I think we can all predict what's coming next, the end of our episode, where we're helping you understand the quirks of your own mind, one bias at a time.
And remember, the next time someone says they knew it all along, maybe they didn't, and that's perfectly okay.
Show, let's go, open up your mind and grow. Facts and stories, things you never know. Every episode, we light the glow. Step into the world of Mass Show. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow. New ideas begin to shine. Breaking limits, crossing lines. Every moment feels divine. In the world of Mass Show time. Turn it up, let the rhythm flow. Feel the beat, take control. Don't be shy, just let it go. This is where the magic grows. Tune in now, it's the Mass Show. Lights up bright and minds will glow. Every day we learn and grow. Come along and join the flow.